All right, it's your man DJ Seiko doing the fly guy thing, and I have my other fly brethren, my brother Raheim Shabazz from Elementary Genocide 3. What's up, Ra?
Yo, what's going on, black man? How you doing?
Yo, man, I'm maintaining. Now, I got a chance to watch Elementary Genocide 3, and I tell you, man, you need a pat on the back, bro. You need some applause. We need to salute you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
How's it feel, man?
Oh, it feels good. Anytime that you can see something that was a labor of love and that you was committed to start, that this was a grassroots effort from the people, by the people, and we made it happen. So I'm still feeling the high.
Okay. Good. What was the impetus, man? What made you decide to do 1, 2, and now 3?
Well, with 1, I wanted to tell the overall story about how our kids are being ushered in the school to prison pipeline, which essentially is taking them from the schoolyard and placing them in the prison yard by exploring their reading scores. Because if you're not reading by the 3rd grade, there's a 75% chance you're going to end up in prison. So once I did that, I thought I was done with the story. However, what happened was I started doing more research. More people started coming to me and telling me the overall story about that this is not just about young men, that there is an 800% increase in incarceration of the black woman from the time of the last 30 years. So I wanted to include that in there. And then I wanted to go back to the landmark ruling of Brown versus Board of Education and ask the proverbial question, has that done more harm than good? So that became Elementary Genocide Part 2, and Sheena has joined us.
What's up, beautiful Miss Bad and Bougie?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Hey, how you doing? So that was the reason for Part 2. So with Part 3, I wanted to explore everything that was happening in the current political climate with the state-sanctioned execution of black men and women in the street. So I wanted to show that the assassination of the mind was no different than the assassination of the physical body in the streets, and how it starts from how they educate. The reason for Part 3. And I want to tell everybody, because it only been 48 hours since Part 3 been out, and people already hitting me with ideas and asking me when Elementary Genocide 4 is coming out. There will be no Elementary Genocide 4.
Okay.
I will continue to do videos and other different things, but I think after, close to 4 hours of video footage in the last 15 to 20 minutes, we offer solutions. If you didn't get the solutions in the last 3 videos, then you're not serious about liberation.
Okay. I agree. Well, like I said, I got a chance to watch Elementary Genocide 3, and I particularly like the solutions. And so I'm glad that you're putting such an emphasis on the solutions, because there are a lot of times where people just want to raise questions, or they just want to raise their issues. My thing is, I got a problem with this, but you brought the solutions, which is really one of the critical reasons for people to watch Elementary Genocide 3.
Thank
you. Good. So look.
I think that the series has been instrumental in waking up a lot of people, but at the same time, there's other social issues that we need to tackle. So this is not the end of me, doing documentaries. It's just the last of the series of Elementary Genocide.
Okay. And Sheena, if you have any questions or a point you'd like to make, just jump on in there. I have a...
Freezing up, brother.
Yeah, we'll clean it up.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I know you're getting response, in the last 48 hours to the video with, have people been offering to help you and implement the solutions? Or have they just been asking for details on the next documentary?
A little bit of both. I have individuals that want me to come out and college wants me to come and speak to the Black Students Union, and primarily what they're going to school for is to be teachers. So I think that is a real good look, because these are the next teachers for the next generation. And other individuals, you always get individuals say, well, why you didn't go this route, and well, maybe you can go that route. You know what I mean? So, but overall, the response has been good, because what we 5 days before we actually put out the physical DVD, we allowed individuals to go online and just stream it. So, within 1,500 people screening. So that was good. I got a lot of feedback on that. So the overall response is good, and I'm pleased with it.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, we have some people in the so-called conscious community, or just in America in general and overseas and, across the world, who think that they're helping when they take your content and they put it on YouTube for people to see, because it's important that everybody gets this information. What are your responses when you run across, or if you run across those types of people?
Well, naturally, freedom ain't free, and people need to understand that freedom is not free. And I wish I could be in a position where I put out content, and I am in the future, where I just put out content on YouTube, and it's for mass consumption. Actually, I have a podcast where I try to do that at. It costs nothing to listen on the podcast. But when you bootleg individuals, documentaries such as myself or Hidden Colors or 7 a.m., you essentially takes money out of the production for the next project. Because I'm speaking for myself. Like, I funded my whole entire projects. The last one, I did a fundraiser, and we got a little bit of money, nothing significant to cover the production value of it. So that's why it was supposed to come out in April, but it just came out in August, because I had to get the rest of the money myself. Mm-hmm. And, it takes its toll. Man, Elementary Genocide 1 and 2 has been bootlegged heavy in the streets, heavy. And when that happens, it slows the process up, because I have another project that I want to do. So each project funds the next project. And the only way we're going to be able to tell our narrative if we put out content. Now, if I have to go to somebody else for the money, whoever controls the purse strings controls the narrative. And I don't want to ever have to do that. So that's why it's imperative that individuals go out and purchase it. And if you don't want to buy a copy, grab a copy from your man and watch that one. But by no means, man, do you bootleg it.
I'm glad you said that, man, because it's really.
And on another note, if I see anybody bootlegging it, man, I'm coming like Jesus, man, when he kicks over the table. The money changes. It's funny. One time I was pulling up right here in Atlanta in the West End, and I was with this sister, and she was like, "Oh, there go my bootleg man," and I'm like, "Yo, you serious?" She was like, "I just be getting cartoons for the kids and all that." So I walked with her over there, and I was just joking. I was like, "Yo, you got Elementary Genocide?" He was like, "Nah, yo, I sold out." And I'm like, "Yo, you serious?" He was like, "Yeah, yo, and I heard 2 is out." I'm like, "Yo, you serious?" I'm like, "Yo, that's my documentary." He's like, "Nah, man, come on, man, you joking." I said, "Nah, look, I got the shirt on." And he looked at the shirt and he was like, "Yo, I apologize, man." And I told him, I said, "Yo, man, brother, man, get your money, man." I said, "But I tell you what, I'll give you, I'll give it to you at wholesale price, man. Why don't you sell it authentically? And he was like, yo, sure thing. And I gave him a couple of copies, and, he did his thing. I haven't seen him after that. But, I know brothers out here trying to make a living, man. And, you got to get it how you live, man. But, leave me and mine alone, man. Go bootleg Superman 3 or something.
Interesting. I actually think we've done ourselves a disservice by accepting bootlegs in general. If you go to a beauty salon, or if you go to a beauty salon, you can buy almost any movie bootleg. And we actually have a whole market about that. But it's a market of illegality. It's an illegal market, and it hurts us in the long run. And it's one of the reasons that poor people stay impoverished, because they do things that keep the producers impoverished.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people think, that this is a money thing for me, and actually it's not. I have other business ventures that I utilize the money from that to fund these projects. So it's, by no means will it keep me in poverty, but like I said, it doesn't help the streamlining of me getting the next project out. So that's why it was a little delay between projects. Like this one, I think it was like almost 18 months to probably almost 2 years. And I wanted to put them out one every year, back to back.
I mean, you're lucky that you have other businesses, but what about the other young producers that don't have other businesses, that rely on the revenue from their content to be able to build their brands? How do we convince the community that it's important to support our artists so that we can expand the narrative and expand images that we see about ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only way we're gonna do that is like the brother said. We gotta tell people that by no means should they be bootlegging these DVDs, because as you said, if it's a young individual that's relying on the income from the community to produce his documentary, bootlegging ain't gonna help. And one thing I will say, that it was organizations and individuals that did ask to donate and become a part of the projects, but we don't share the same, belief. So I had to kindly decline.
Understood.
And that's one thing that a lot of people gonna have to worry about. Like I had a project, man, I was real excited about doing. And once we got into the meeting room, and I seen their overall view of what they was trying to do and how they was trying to present that narrative. And I was like, nah, I can't be a part of that. That's diametrically opposed to what I believe in. And the money was good too. And, it would have put me in a position where I could have went out and hired other people in the community and really had a real bigger production crew, but I couldn't have did that.
All right. Well, you're there in Atlanta, and how has the Atlanta school system and the Montgomery County and those other counties surrounding Atlanta, how have they embraced the information that you're producing in your elementary genocide movies?
In Atlanta, as you may know, I think it was probably almost about 2 years now, they had a scandal with APS, that's Atlantic Public School System, where from the superintendent on down to principals and teachers was arrested for cheating on the tests, because what was happening was they was getting bonus if these kids reach a certain grade level and they have so many kids reading on grade level or the graduation rate. So this is like the breeding ground for what we talk about in the documentary. So to answer your question, it has been well received in the public school system. I've been to several different school systems. I've been to the colleges. We did screenings, and I talk to the students all the time. So it been real receptive. And in fact, I actually had about 4 teachers I was supposed to interview, but somehow mysteriously, when it came time to interview them, either they didn't return that phone call or they just kept it 100 and said, you know what, Raheim, I got to go to work on Monday morning, and there's certain things that I know I would say or I want to say that wouldn't go good with my employees.
So the problem is going to continue because the school systems, the problems that you've pointed out in the films, the school systems are unwilling to get involved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it. Well, let me say this. That's in certain schools. I've been to a charter school. They was real receptive of it. Parents, students, they all came out. I've been to Clark Atlanta University. So, there's certain schools that do know that there's a problem and that one exists, and they willing to tackle the problem. So I don't want to make it inclusive of the entire district, but overall the system, yeah. But there's certain individuals, you know how it is. That if they get word of what's going on, they probably will put their foot down. But then you have teachers that has the students' best interests at heart, and they want to let them know the truth about what's going on to deter them from becoming that dropout, from becoming a person that doesn't excel in life because they feel like they wasn't given a chance. When all you have to do is you have to take that chance. You can't rely on nobody else.
All right. Great. Well, look, Sheena, you have any other questions?
No, not at this time.
Well, I'll tell you,
He did great work to inspire the young people.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so I simply want to say, if you have not seen Elementary Genocide 1, 2, or 3, we invite you to go to Rashad's Entertainment's website. You can stream it. I streamed it. That's how I saw 1, 2, and 3. And if somebody is interested in doing a screening, what would be the process for having them do a legal screening? A lot of people don't think they have to get permission to show a film.
All right, this is one thing that I will say. I have no problem with anybody that buys the documentary and want to do a private screening amongst your friends, even if you're a community organization, churches, as long as you're not charging a fee. If you buy the documentary and you show it to 5,000 people, I have no problem with that. What I do have the problem with is when individuals try to enrich themselves off of the project. If you want to do a screening, there is a screening screening fee. So you can contact me for that. You can contact me on email at raheim.shabazz@gmail.com, or you can simply reach out to me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm even on Snapchat. And the handle's at Raheim Shabazz.
All right. Well, last, why don't you tell us about your podcast? Your podcast, Necessary Blackness. I've been listening now for about 8 months.
Yes. Necessary Blackness is a podcast for those that are unapologetic and have a love and affinity for Black folks. And we talk about a range of subjects. We are now on our 32nd episode. And actually, it was supposed to air today. We're going to do it tomorrow. It'll air tomorrow. And this one's dedicated to our great grandmaster teacher, Dick Gregory.
Yes.
And the podcast has been doing real good. We made it to the top 10 of Amazon. Not Amazon. Oh, man. I'm thinking about documentaries and DVDs. We made it to the top 10 of iTunes.
Okay.
We're also on Google Play. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Spreaker. We're working right now to get it on Spotify as well as Tidal. So that is something that you ain't got to pay for. You know, you can't bootleg that. Everybody can get that free. And just type in Necessary Blackness. Actually, I'm going to pull the screen down. This is the logo right here on the shirt. You know, we got the Sankofa bird, you know, looking back in order to go forward. Necessary Blackness.
Well, I love the podcast. I know that recently, I guess within the last 2 or 3 months, you've included 2. They sound beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably not as beautiful as my black and bougie partner, Sheena Boston here.
Yeah, my 2 lovely co-hosts, Queen Fumi and Ashton Brion. Yeah, those are my 2 co-hosts. So, yeah, they helped me hold it down. You know, initially I started doing it myself just to kickstart it. But as you know, we got to have the black woman involved in order to put in that divine feminine energy. Because if we ain't got that, we ain't going to be successful, brother. You know, it's the, truth be told, man, it's the women, man, that run everything.
Well, yeah, my father would say that women have half the money and all the blank. And
All the blank. All the power?
All the power. Okay.
Oh, I know what you was going to say. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, look, speaking of the podcast, one of the things, and I'm going to end with this, one of the advertisers on your podcast is a laundry detergent.
Yeah, True Laundry Detergent, right here in Atlanta, black owned, and they are doing a magnificent job. Actually, I think they make sure y'all check them out. True Detergent, and anybody that's interested in advertising, we support black business. In fact, we have a disclaimer where we let people know that we don't accept advertisements from payday loans, tobacco, or alcoholic beverage. We just deal with, it's unnecessary blackness. I mean, necessary blackness. So it's all about black power over here.
Okay.
All right. And one more thing before I go, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
When am I coming to the Richmond, Virginia area, brother? I need to get out there. Can we make that happen?
You know what, Sheena? We need to talk about that.
Okay.
We need to talk about that.
I definitely want to come out there. I know you guys do a lot out there, and a lot of time, people try to do things and don't connect with the people that has a strong hold in that community. And that's what we have to do as a people. I know that you well respected in that area, so I would be amiss if I didn't reach out to you and your organizations to try to make things happen, because it's because of people like you that individuals in Virginia know that elementary genocide exists. So I want to give a shout out and a salute to you, as well as Positive Vibes.
That's what's up.
Yeah, they do a lot.
Raheim, we appreciate our second interview with you. We want to make sure that everybody checks out Elementary Genocide 1, 2, and 3. If you're not listening to the podcast, Necessary Blackness, check out the Necessary Blackness podcast. Good stuff. I love what you're doing. And we're going to get you here in the Hampton Roads, Richmond area really soon, brother.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Talk with y'all later.
Power.
All right.
Black Power.